Let's go to Queensland now. Joining me is One Nation Leader Pauline Hanson. Senator Hanson, great to have you with us. Where are you?
I'm in Maryborough, Steve, and I got to tell you this. We're setting up to do the film here, so a staffer came from the council and has told me that I can't film here next to Merry Poppins because they're apolitical, and told me I shouldn't be here. I told them, get lost, I'm doing the interview here. They said, well, we're going to ring the police. So if the police turn up and you see a confrontation here, you know what's happening with it, because Merry Poppins is apolitical and I shouldn't be actually doing the interview here. So anyway, I've got to show you this. This is from one of the locals.
Wow, that's
one
fantastic.
of my own Merry Poppins, so they did it up for me. Yes, but it is, isn't it? So anyway, that's where I am. So if you see confrontation that happens, I refuse to move away because Merry Poppins is apolitical.
Just tell the police that you're live on Sky and we'll see what happens. And it would make great television for me, Pauline, if you can organise it.
Well, they've gone away to ring them anyway, Steve, so we'll see what happens. And I thought, I'm sick and tired of being bullied around. I'm sick and tired of these people. This is the second time today, Steve, I went to the old TAFE. It was built about 9 years ago. It's sitting there in rack and ruin. Do you know, I went on the property to actually have a look at it. I was told by a security guard, you're not allowed to come here. And I said, I'm here as a Member of Parliament. I want to know where the taxpayers' dollars are going. This facility's sitting here, but you can't. I'll call the police. I said, good, call the police. I said, because I'm going to have a look around. Now I know we've got this facility that possibly could be used for whether it's for emergency housing, for aged care, for educational purposes for 9 years. And this facility would cost millions and millions of dollars to build, and now it's been destroyed by vandals and they haven't done a damn thing about it. I'm fed up with the bureaucrats, I'm fed up with the politicians, and this is a waste of taxpayers' dollars. But they're, again, being bullied. This town is run by a bunch of bullies who don't want to see One Nation here. Well, we are going to be a threat to them.
Why is Maryborough turned into such a woke joint that they won't welcome a proud Queenslander like Pauline Hanson, who happens to be a member of their king's government?
Go figure. And the whole fact is that a couple of years ago, we actually pulled 47% of the vote. It's Labor held. They're terrified of losing the seat, and there are a bunch of bullies up here. So anyway, I'm not standing for it, either as my candidate, Taryn, who's absolutely fantastic, small business owner here. So anyway, we're a threat to them, Steve, and they don't like it. So we're sticking up for it. You know, we've had so many things. We've spoken to the firefighters today. What's happening to the rural and regional firefighters? You know, they're volunteers. They're not getting a look in the door. They're being controlled. No one listens to them. There's real problems with the firefighting sector. The farmers I spoke to today as well, they're facing huge issues as well. And, you know, no one's listening to them. We're losing the farming sector, Steve. It's, you know, one thing after another that I'm hearing from the public. And it's very important that I get around and talk to people. They've lost faith in the politicians. They want someone to listen to them. And if we get in there, we intend to really start pushing many issues that are concerning the Australian people.
Well, the great thing is that you get out and do this. I mean, one of the problems we're going to have in regional Australia, I've been talking about it since the beginning of the year on Sky, is that local councils like the one you're talking about there, they're in charge of planning permits. And so when all these people turn up with, you know, solar farms that are going to cover paddocks and acres and acres and acres of wind turbines, the councils are just going to give that a green tick, and suddenly the regional people who treasure the place that they live are going to have no control over it.
Oh, look, you're exactly right, Steve. Actually, Boorumba dam that they have there, they're actually going to put another wall up. They're going to raise the height by 50 metres, which is going to flood pristine forest, you know, it's never been touched. And then you're going to lose all the flora and fauna, destroy the tourist industry, put in hydro scheme that's not going to give any more water whatsoever, only to support 226 wind turbines at a height of 290 metres high, these wind turbines, through pine forest area, which will actually then destroy the ecology of the ecosystem, waterways, which will actually go down and silt up river systems and the coastline. This is how stupid the whole thing is. People are up in arms about this. This has been supported by both the political parties. No one's fighting this. So anyway, we will fight it. It is ridiculous what they're wanting to do. And they're going to put up thousands upon thousands of solar panels, which aren't going to deliver the power. All it's going to do is just keep the turbines going to pump the water uphill so it flows down through the day, because wind and solar will not give the power that we need. It's ridiculous, Steve.
What's happened to your mates, the Greens? What's happened to your mates, the Greens, in the Senate? They're supposed to protect the Australian flora and fauna. Now they've just turned themselves into a bunch of anarchists who the only problem they want to talk about is Palestine.
Yeah, that's right. Correct. I was about to say that people have been misled and lied to what the Greens actually stand for. They're not looking after the environment. They're a bunch of rat bags that have no idea, use this whole thing about the environment as the reasons why they get into Parliament, and people need to look at what their policies are. The Greens are not here to support this country in productivity, jobs, the future of this nation whatsoever, and they throw out policies out there that are unsustainable, will not work whatsoever, to play on people's emotions where they think, oh my God, you can't let that happen, we're going to lose this animal. The amount of, what they said, birds and different species that will be lost in this. That's right, where's the Greens? No one's speaking about it. But it's sheer stupidity, Steve. Let me remind people again, 226 wind turbines of the height of 290 metres high throughout a pine forest. So you can imagine if one of those actually catches fire, what's going to happen? We have a failing, fire service where the volunteers are not getting into the service anymore. We have huge problems coming, lining up, and people are not being listened to. And this is where we have to, One Nation has to start winning seats in the floor of Parliament to actually start putting them on notice and being a voice for the people. So it's up to people out there. We're giving you an opportunity to make a change and get rid of the thugs, and those people don't know what the hell they're doing, just protecting their own jobs, and that's what we have to do. That's our job.
We got an issue in Victoria where farmers who have properties that actually share a fence line with some of these turbine projects, their insurance costs have absolutely gone through the roof, because the insurance company says, well, hang on, what if the solar panels or the wind turbine catches fire? We're not going to insure your property unless you pay more in your premiums.
Well, they can't. Just got word about that. Insurance companies in Australia won't insure these farmers once they put the wind turbines up, so that means they have to get overseas insurance to cover them as well. So the cost of that is correct, Steve, what I'm understanding. So there's a lot of pluses to all this that people don't understand. Even with these solar panels, when they actually get destroyed by hail or other damage that may be done to them, well then once they leach that cadmium into the soil, and that may run into waterways and the poisons the neighbours' land or whatever, there's another thing. There's no insurance that can actually pay for that. It has not been thought out. Also, no one's answered me the question, how do they intend to get rid of the solar panels and the wind turbines as well once they finish their use-by date? It is ludicrous what we're doing. I'm not against it whatsoever. If people want to put solar panels on their houses, fine, to cut down the cost of power, I've got no problem with that whatsoever. Don't destroy prime agricultural land. Don't destroy pristine forests. Don't put in stupid plans for a hydro system that will not deliver one more power to the people just because you're going to get rid of coal-fired power stations that gives us the dispatchable power that we need 24/7. It is stupidity. It is foreign investment in this country that's propping it up. It's deals that the governments have done to sign them up. And for the last 10 years, we have paid out $29 billion in subsidies to these companies. So I have a real issue with this, that we are seeing taxpayers' monies just going to foreign investment over these renewables that is not delivering what we need in this country.
Do I need to keep my phone on in case you end up in jail tonight?
They haven't turned up. So she got on the phone straight away, don't worry about that. But anyway, I think they're thinking twice about it, because I'm not a pushover, and no one is going to bully me or tell me when I know I'm in my rights, and I can stand here beside my mate Merry Poppins and I'm having this interview with you. So anyway, that's the way it is, but I've got A lot of people waving to me on the way. They're loving seeing me here. So anyway.
You go for it, Pauline.
The battle's on, the fight's on, and we're going to keep going.
No one's going to bully you.
We will. Thanks, Steve.